Welcome back to the Michael Artsis Show on BeTerrific. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks so much for joining us. You can catch the Michael Artsis Show Monday through Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time every single day. We talk sports, business, tech, and entertainment. Join our conversation on the Slack chat, beterrific.com/live. Go underneath the video player, and you can enter your email and your name, and we'll send you an invite for the Slack chat. You can join all our viewers and even ask questions that we can ask on air. We check in throughout the day, too, so it's not just when we're on air. David Clowney, former New York Jet and, of course, Green Bay Packer, is joining us. He was also a player at Virginia Tech, wide receiver, caught passes from Brett Favre, an amazing guy, a good friend, and was surprised to see that I had no hair when we had him on Skype for about 2 seconds before we lost the connection. He's in Florida, and he's calling in now. So we have him on the phone. Dave, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me, man. How you been, brother?
I've been great, really great. I've got a young son named Jack. He's almost 2 years old. He's a bundle of joy, and I shaved my head because I went through this awkward high school phase where I kind of lost my hair and looked silly, and I said, you know what, let's just get it all off.
Go ahead and get it out the way now.
Exactly, yeah. And I was saying before when we kind of lost you that I'm wearing this Rangers jersey today. You were probably shocked by that.
I saw that. What's that about?
I'm superstitious and I'm silly. And you know what happened is I thought the Rangers season was going to be over. They were down 3-1 to the Capitals. I said, I wore it once. I haven't worn this jersey since I was 15 years old. I wore it once with my son. We went slot car racing. And then I said, all right, let me bring it in studio and wear it one day before the season's over because I had talked about it on air. Let me just wear it because I won't have a chance till October, right? Then they go on a winning rampage and they win out, right? And they beat the Capitals. I haven't washed it since. I'm superstitious. I'm like, yeah, I better wear it to support them. They got a big game tonight, Game 2 at Madison Square Garden. So I don't know. I ditched the suit today.
Whatever works, brother. Whatever works.
There you go.
I used to wear an orange shirt under all my football games in high school and college.
So you were superstitious too, right? I used to put my hockey equipment on the same way every time.
Yep, I did every time. I had to wear that orange shirt. If I didn't have that orange shirt, man, I would lose it. I would feel so uncomfortable and just. But all through high school, all through college, I wore that orange shirt. And
what'd you see? It worked at Virginia Tech. What happens when you get to the Green Bay Packers and then the Jets? Do you do something different?
Well, by that time, we were getting real heavy into the whole the dry fits and stuff like that. Before we really didn't have the dry fits in high school.
Right.
When I was playing ball, so it was once we started getting into the dry fit, we just could cut those off, cut the sleeves off. Those are a little bit more comfortable. And, for me, it was like starting a brand new thing in the NFL, so I kind of tried to get rid of the orange shirt. At least it matched. My high school colors were the same as University of Miami. We had the same uniforms as them. And then in college, of course, our colors are orange, maroon, and white. So it fit perfect, having an orange shirt hanging out the bottom of your jersey.
Yes. Did I hear you say when you were on hold that you're going to the Marlins game today? You're taking Jordan to the Marlins game. You have a brother named Jordan. You when you were with the Jets, he lived with you, and you taught him football. You took care of him. You helped him grow up and become a man. How old is he now? He's got to be like 15. He was 10.
Man, Jordan is 17. Just turned 17 on April 22nd. He's a junior in high school. He starts middle linebacker for Village Academy. It's high school here in Delray Beach. He's an insane outfielder, loves baseball, his favorite sport. Batting average is insane. I think he's leading his summer league team in steals and base steals. So, man, he's doing great, man. Doing real great.
What's it like watching him play? Because, he used to watch you play and look up to you. Now you're kind of looking up to him and kind of rooting vicariously through him. And a lot of you are in him because you coached his team, you helped him out, you looked after him, and you also showed him basically what it was like to be a pro.
For me, it's more of a grooming process. I want him to do everything I did right and better. And at the same time, I'm going to make sure he doesn't make any of the mistakes that I made growing up professionally before and after.
What mistakes did you make? I don't know that you made any mistakes. I thought you did a great job.
Just whatever it is. Just working hard and getting that extra work in. Saying the wrong things or whatever it may be. Keeping that whole inner side of things up, and I just wanted to be I wanted him to outdo me on every level. And it's exciting to see him, be the athlete he is today. Me, I stuck around with football and track. He played in basketball a little bit. He does everything. Like I said, free starting linebacker for football. He plays baseball, plays basketball. He does everything. He's an honor roll student. So, I mean, I look up to him in a lot of ways, more than one would think.
You had a 4.36 40 time, unbelievable. There was a lot to look up to with you. You caught passes from Brett Favre, both as a Green Bay Packer and as a New York Jet. What was that like?
Man, that was insane. That was insane. I actually remember this one scenario. I guess, I was in practice. It was like one of the first couple of days of OTAs, and I kind of just caught myself, like I was just staring at him. I didn't even realize it. And then Greg Jennings, he was like, "Clowney, what's up?" I was like, "Oh, my bad." He was like, "Don't worry, I did the same thing my rookie year." Kind of just caught me in the dress. Like, man, I'm over here playing on the same football field as Brett Favre. Like, literally catching passes from him in practice with the first team. In the game with him. My first official pass from him in the game was from him. A one-handed catch that made, top 10 Sports Center. So, like, it's exciting, man, to be able to live your dream, man, and play again, especially play with and against some of the guys that you looked up to yourself.
Yeah, it's got to be unbelievable. I'll tell you that the thing with Brett that surprised me most is I covered the NFL for a long time, and I had never met Brett, and then I was standing with you in the tunnel, and I could not believe how big he was. I thought he was a really thin, lanky guy, and I also thought he was shorter, and he's literally like 6'4", maybe 240, 250.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a lumberjack. You also played a little in Toronto with the Argonauts, right? And what was?
No. I was actually in Montreal after I had 5 years in the NFL and 2 years in the CFL.
What was the?
I was able to spend. Montreal was real different, man. Being in Canada.
Did you like it there?
I did, man. It was cool, man. I mean, everybody spoke French. so it was a different atmosphere. It's a passing league, definitely a passing league. So it was convenient, me playing receiver after I had my last year in Buffalo. But it was a different experience, man, and I'm very blessed and very glad that I was able to experience that.
Did you become a hockey fan living in Montreal?
I'm not gonna say I became a hockey fan. Now I did become, a bandwagon Canadian fan just because, that's all they watched. Like, they would turn football off, the NFL. They would turn off basketball and to flip it to the hockey game, down here in the States. We'll turn a hockey game quick just to make sure we watch a football or a basketball game. So it was different, but you kind of got used to it, and I was able to go to my first game, my first hockey game ever, when I went to see Montreal play one time. So it was dope, man. It's a lot more fight than I thought it was. The crowd goes insane, so it was exciting, man. I had fun.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. So Jordan is 17. That's unbelievable. I'm so excited, and I'm glad he's doing well. What is the favorite sport you have to watch him play? Is it baseball? Is it basketball? Is it football? I mean, middle linebacker, that's pretty insane.
I actually love watching him play baseball. Like Jordan at 15 and 16 years old, Jordan was down here and playing on an adult league. I mean, 25, 26, 30-year-old guys, grown men, playing baseball with these guys. And at one point, you got one of the guys like, "Hey, can we bring him to Tallahassee with us for him to finish the last 3 games with us?" He's nuts when it comes to being in the outfield when it comes to baseball.
Wow.
Like, ridiculous.
Is he being recruited?
I've seen him make some insane catches to be, as young as he has and still play with, the adults that he plays with in the summer.
Is he being recruited?
Right now, he hasn't. I actually was, me, like I said, I know the game of baseball, but I don't know the recruiting game of baseball.
Yeah.
So I reached out to a couple colleges one time and tried to find out, what was the process. Do we just call schools, tell them they need to come down here and look at a guy? So they said basically it was just like football. They knew who I was when I introduced myself over the phone. So it was like basically just like football. You send out your film and, send the college to see it, and then they come down and recruit you after watching your film. And I'm like, well, it's kind of harder to film a baseball game. At least in football, you can stand at the top of the stadium, and then you can just record.
Yeah.
Baseball game, you got the diamond. They don't have high bleachers like, in high school, for baseball, where someone can stand at the top, and there's always a net or a cage in the way wherever you want to be. So that's been kind of difficult to get him recruited in that aspect. So I'm making a lot of phone calls, man. I know baseball is his number one sport. So I know if he can do that, then I know he'll be happy, man, and I'll be happy as well.
Baseball is a good sport. It's also a good business because you don't have to worry so much about getting head injuries, especially playing linebacker, right? You don't have to worry about other injuries. You can also have a really long career in baseball, and the money's better. So if you can go baseball,
the money is guaranteed.
yeah, and it's guaranteed. So if you can go baseball all the way. You know what? We'll talk offline. I'll give you some tips for shooting because it is hard to shoot baseball. But I do have some tips. I've shot baseball before, and a single camera, and I can tell you what to do to help you with that. Absolutely. I'm glad you're doing well, and you've got a young son as well, right?
My son, David Clowney, David Clowney the fifth. We call him Cinco. So he's 5. Actually, he's 4 right now. He'll be 5 in August, at the end of August.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, huge, man. Looks just like me. And I know I haven't spoken with you in a little while, but I have a daughter. She's 1. She'll be 2 in September.
Congratulations. That's awesome. We got to get our kids together. That would be great. I don't know if you're ever up here. Occasionally I go to Florida, so I really want to get to your event. And if it's not this time, as BeTerrific grows, because it's growing, we will definitely come. The event is June 6th. And tell me about it. I mean, I was telling everybody when we were trying to get you on with the technical difficulties with Skype all about it, but it's this wonderful basketball tournament to raise money for the David Clowney Foundation, and that's all about giving back to kids. It's really about looking after the kids in the Miami-Dade, Delray Beach, Florida area where you grew up. And I've told people it's a really hard place to grow up unless you grow up, in a wealthy area in that space. It is a very hard place to grow up. There are a lot of decisions you have to make, and a lot of reasons you can go off the tracks, but you look out for these kids, you teach them, you talk to them, you put scholarships together, and you make sure that they're doing the right things, and it's so important.
For us, the whole weekend will consist of a celebrity basketball game. It's going to be a celebrity bowl-a-thon and a free youth football and cheerleading camp. That goes on from June 5th to June 7th. And again, the entire weekend is one big fundraising weekend. The entire weekend. They have, I got about 20, 25 NFL players come in. Damian Berry from the Super Bowl Ravens team, Anquan Bolden, Brian McKinney, Jacoby Ford, Brandon Flowers. I mean, the list goes on and on. But like I said, the whole weekend is one big fundraising. We do everything we can to put together and have as many people as possible come to this bowling event, come to the celebrity basketball game, and raise enough money to give out scholarships for those that can't afford it. And it basically started from myself. If I wouldn't have got a full scholarship athletically, my parents didn't have enough money to send me to college, especially a big-time B1 university. So who knows, I probably would have never went to college if I wouldn't have got a scholarship. And it's a lot, and I think that's very unfair. Finances should not be a reason our youth can't get educated. Our youth can't go to college, and there's a lot of kids that want to go to college that can't just because their parents can't afford it, and I think that's very unfair. So me being a part of that, knowing what that would have been like for me, I want to make sure that doesn't happen with anybody else. Just because your parents don't have the funds for you to go to college, and when you really want to, doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to. So we're going to keep doing everything we can every year. Right now, like I said, we're in a bind right now because we're still trying to raise $3,000 to cover all the expenses for the weekend. That way, everything that we bring in, like I said, I'm a 501c3, so everything that we bring in is straight. There's straight profit, and everything that we bring in can go straight towards scholarships.
I love that. First of all, college loans and tuition are so onerous. It really puts, even if you can get a loan, it puts the students so far behind the 8 ball once they come out of college. And unfortunately, not everybody is a good enough athlete to qualify to get a scholarship to play sports, or smart enough to necessarily get it academically. And people need help. And they need help to get out of the situations they're in and to be a good influence on society and make a positive impact. I love what you're doing. $3,000 is not a ton of money that you need, and I love the idea that you keep the organization very slim. this is not something that you make money off of. This is something that you put together so that you can give the most to the kids. Obviously, there are still expenses, right? And you have to have insurance.
Yeah, plenty of expenses. I mean, you got to think about the NFL. Like, anytime we have a camp, we fly ourselves into each other's camp, and then we take care of each other's hotel rooms. I mean, you got to think about, I got to pay for the shirts for the camp. I got to pay for the food for the camp. I got to pay for the water and the drinks for the camp when we don't have sponsors for it. And this is just all to take care of the kids. So even renting out the gym, renting out the bowling alley, just to make sure that we can hold the event and host the event to raise the money for it. Like, these are all expenses, and it's been pretty, like, every year, I've been the one, I've always just came out of pocket a couple $1,000s just to make sure we cover everything. But that was simple when, like I said, of course, I've had 7 years of playing professional football. But that's simple when I know I'm playing ball and I know I'm going to have a good check coming in. I'm retired now. I officially retired in June, decided to hang up the cleats. So it's not the same. I can't just throw $10,000 on my own just for the heck of it, every year for the rest of my life to make sure that this weekend is covered. So that's why we're really pressing about trying to get as many sponsors as possible, trying to get people to help us out, like I said, so that way all expenses are covered and all donations and all sponsorships are given straight to scholarship money.
All right, so we've got a lot of great viewers. Actually, all our viewers are great. They make BeTerrific special. They believe in positive content and doing positive things. They want to spread the word, spread the message of positivity, right? That people want positive content out there. They don't just want all the negativity that's out there. Well, here's a chance for our viewers to make a difference, whether you're a company and you want to donate some money, or you're an individual who wants to donate money. Now, if you're a company, it's great. You get to be a sponsor and you get something out of it in return. Or if you're an individual, you could have your name up somewhere or whatever. You can donate.
We put up banners at all the games. I mean, we have a one pizza place down here, Dean's Pizzeria, man. Big Jets fan, and from the first time I ever had my camp, the very first year, he's been helpful, man, as far as helping with the food. So we put his logo on our website as an official sponsor. We put the logos on our T-shirts so everybody knows who helped us out, who gave money. Putting up banners at the camp, so like it's a big marketing aspect for everybody because like my weekend is known throughout the country. I have people flying all the time from Phoenix, Arizona, from New York, from Atlanta, from Texas. I mean, it's amazing. Even Deion Sanders' daughter, Deandra Sanders, he's played in a celebrity basketball game 2 years in a row. Like everybody knows about it. So it's just like I said, getting everybody to really believe what I believe in, see the vision that I see of trying to help our kids and just raising the money.
I've known you a long time. You've always done great things, and you're always doing stuff that's tremendous for the kids. I want people to go and donate. It doesn't matter what they donate, but we got to get you closer to $3,000 that you need to really get over the hump so that everything that people donate when they're there, every auction item, every silent auction item, every dollar that they donate then goes straight to the kids, and hopefully you can raise, 10, 15, 20,000. 20,000 might be enough for 1 year tuition, maybe depending on the college, 2 years tuition. There are some colleges that are cheaper out there. So that would be great, and maybe we can get over that. So let's look out for the $3,000 now. And if you own a corporation and you want to sponsor it, you can be a sponsor, and it can benefit your company too. It's a 501c3, so it's a tax write-off. And if not,
tax write-off, whatever you do, if you donated $10,000, you would get back $10,000. And there's a lot of people that don't understand. I'm trying to get a lot of the NFL guys to understand that as well. So it'll help them out in the future.
Why do NFL, I never can understand this, why do NFL guys not understand the taxes as well as they should? Because here's the thing, especially now, the information's available. I know that the NFL doesn't do a good job of providing it to them, but literally you should take an interest and could Google, and you could find out, you could go talk to a tax attorney or an accountant and do all this stuff. Why don't guys do this more? Why don't they take an interest in their finances? It blows my mind because I've seen so many guys who are good people who go through really financial hardships, and there's so much they can do to avoid, not only avoid paying taxes, but to avoid having this kind of situation happen. Why do guys not do a better job of? It's not all their fault. I'm not blaming it on guys.
Educated on it. That's it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about being educated on it. If you don't know that you can donate $1,000 and $1,000 to a 501c3, and it would help you tax wise, then you'll never do it.
Well, no, I mean, I get that, but I know that there are a lot of people who cause a lot of problems and don't help the athletes and don't help you guys. They don't do the right thing. They're bottom feeders. It's awful. There's a lot of awfulness in sports. There is. But in the behind the scenes, and there's a lot of greatness too. But the question, like, the only thing I don't understand is, we study everything now, right? You study game tape, you study everything, right? And it's so easily accessible. Why don't more guys take it upon themselves to study ways to do this? And maybe, how come, I know you're doing it, but how come more guys don't say, hey, kid, come here, let me tell you, you're a rookie, and I'm going to tell you how you can save some money or how you can do good, and also at the same time save some money?
Because I think in a light, because we have, so from the time you come out of college or going into your senior year of college, you got everybody and their mom hounding you. You should invest in this. You should invest in that. You should give your money to this. You should give your money to that. And it kind of puts doubt in your mind of what's real and what's not. So even, like I said, if you're not educated on the issue at hand, especially when it comes down to 501c3s, you're going to think the same thing, especially if I go to an NFL guy and be like, listen, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. Just, wondering if you can donate, and you'll get it all back. If you don't know, then they're going to be like, nah, I'm cool, no biggie. Right? For my sense, I'm not going to say, I'm never going to beg anybody to want to believe in my dream. Well, I'm going to push and I'm going to work hard as I can to make sure it happens on my own.
Well, I totally get you, and I totally understand, and I just think it's a shame because you're right. There are so many people who are hangers-on or who are trying to get in there, grab guys' money, and it's a shame. I've seen it so many times, and in their ears and bad business deals and all sorts of stuff. It's too bad that a lot of guys don't get better advice in general, real caring advice. But I guess that's part of the world we live in. You're doing a great job. So people can donate. How do they donate? DavidClowneyFoundation.com. Even regular people, they can get a sponsorship if they donate enough. If not, they just made a donation, which is a wonderful thing, and you're helping young children get an education. So is it just DavidClowneyFoundation.com?
It's DavidClowneyFoundation.com. You can go on there. You can. As soon as you log, as soon as you go onto the website, there's a donation button. Even if it's $1, I promise to God, everything helps. If you wanted to write a check, there's an address on there, a PO box, so you can send that as well. But like I said, everything is going towards to help our youth. That's not in one particular area. That's across the country, throughout the world. As you already know, me and James, the head of old, me and Diggs, we went to Haiti after the earthquake, took clothes out there, food, water, when they had that massive earthquake in Haiti. Me and Santonio Holmes, we put together an American football camp in Africa, in Ghana. So we're trying to do everything we can, man. Like I said, as long as it's about kids, as long as it's helping our youth, then we're all in, and I'm going to do everything I can personally to make sure that they're not going through hardships. Or, like I said again, they can get to college and don't have to worry about expenses.
Well, I think you're doing great stuff. You continue to do great stuff. I love it. I didn't realize about the organization you set up with Santonio Holmes. That's really amazing, and a lot of people don't hear that kind of stuff about him, so that's great. It's good to hear. That's what BeTerrific is about. I knew you did a lot with the Hedabo. Diggs reached out to me actually recently on Facebook because he's doing a lot of stuff. I never go on there. I don't go on enough. I got to reach back out to him. He's doing a lot of great stuff too. He's got Hope Africa, his foundation, and you guys are still good friends, I imagine.
Yeah, no question.
Excellent.
Without a doubt.
Great guy. I got to ask you, I want everybody to go to DavidClowneyFoundation.com and donate something. And if it's time or resources, maybe you could donate T-shirts. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's drinks. Donate something, whether it's your time or your effort. It's a great organization, so check it out. What do you think of this whole Deflategate? I know I've sat with kickers and watched them try and manipulate balls and try and overinflate them. What do you think of this? Does this go on in the NFL, and is the NFL making too big about Tom Brady with this?
I think they're overdoing it, man. I mean, at the end of the day, when it first came out, everybody was saying Deflategate, it helped them win the game. At the end of the day, no matter what was going on with the ball, it doesn't defeat or it doesn't take away from the fact of a receiver being wide open for a touchdown. It doesn't take away from the fact of a running back when he got handed the ball and he breaks for 10, 20, 30 yards on a run play. It's not gonna make a difference. If I'm wide open and the ball is completely flat, if Tom throws me the ball and I catch it, that's not the ball's fault. That's the defense's fault.
Yeah.
You know, so I really don't see, or I mean, it's just crazy to me how they're making a big deal out of this, and I don't really think it's that serious. You know, even if it is true, I don't know if it's true or not. But
Right.
even if it was true, it has nothing to do or no rhyme or reason why the Patriots beat the Colts the way they did. I can guarantee that for a fact. Me playing football my entire life.
Yeah, I mean, you've thrown a football too. Have you? I mean, you've thrown a somewhat deflated football. It's terrible. I don't know how that's an advantage. You know.
Yeah, like it really is. It's terrible. Like, I mean, it might be easier to. It might be a little easier to catch. You know, a little bit. But it can't be like crazy deflated. But
Right.
I don't understand how that's going to help because, I mean, a flat ball, you can't throw it and you can't throw a spiral as good as you can with a pumped up ball.
The thing I don't understand.
You know, and I'm no quarterback, but I know firsthand that if a ball is deflated, I can't throw it as sharp spiral as I can with a fully pumped up ball.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm an amateur. I think, I said from the beginning, I think that this isn't a big deal, that a lot of teams, I believe a lot of teams do this, play with the air pressure, up or down. I think if the NFL wanted to stop it, here's the thing that gets me. If the NFL really wanted to stop it, why didn't they come out and say, okay, we're no longer letting the teams supply the balls. We're going to supply the balls, and the teams will pay for them. So every game it'll cost $10,000 for footballs or $5,000, whatever the number. I don't even care. This is how much it costs for footballs. We take that from the Jets and we take it from the Patriots, whatever, and that's what it is. And we supply the footballs, and we pressurize them, and we check it. And they probably could get a sponsor, by the way, for it. It could be like, you know, the BP gas station guys could be the air fillers or something, you know. They could probably actually make money off of this thing. I don't understand why they don't do that, or at least with this situation, why they didn't come out with it. The other thing I don't understand is if you're going to say, okay, Tom Brady is guilty of violating the integrity of the game, of violating the sanctity of the game, and by really hurting the game here, you gave him 4 games. That's it. He's going to appeal and get less, by the way, but forget that. You gave him 4 games and you don't vacate any wins. If this were college sports, it would be vacated. If you're going to sit there and be the NFL and say that he violated the integrity of the game, then he, to me, is in the same category as Pete Rose, and you need to take drastic measures, not only for him, but for the team. I don't believe he did, personally. I don't believe that...
you can't put that on one person. You know how many people touch footballs before and after a game?
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
Between the equipment guys, I mean, even myself as a receiver, we go out warm up, and I take about 3 or 4 balls. And even when, even if Brett wasn't out there when I was a rookie, I would be out there throwing and playing catch with Aaron. You know, when Mark was there, I was out there playing catch with Kellen, or Mark or Kellen or anybody. You know, like. You know, there's so many people that touch the footballs before the game starts. I don't understand how you can just directly put that on Tom Brady.
Yeah, I think that you're right, and I also think that it's not, to me, it's not that big an offense in the scheme of the game and the fact that other teams do it. If you want to stop it league-wide, take control of it. But if you are going to literally put that on him and say, this violated the integrity of the game like that, I think you absolutely have to be a lot harsher because, I mean, how is that any different than performance-enhancing drugs? You get 6 games for that. You got 4 for this. Yeah. Anyway,
exactly.
Yeah. Who threw the best spiral of all the guys you caught footballs from? Who threw the best spiral or the best ball?
Who threw the best ball? Man, I had a lot of quarterbacks, man. I played with Chad Pennington. I played with Brett Favre, Kellen Clemens, Mark Sanchez, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
You also had Marcus.
Cam Newton, Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson had a really good ball.
Yeah, really? I'm shocked.
Now that I said Derek Anderson had a really good ball.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
I am shocked by that, completely shocked. What do you do for fun these days? I know you bowl a lot. You have your own ball. You have bowling shoes. We went bowling a bunch of times. You got a bowling party as part of this.
I'm still bowling, man. I got 5 of my own bowling balls. I still got my bowling bags. I got fresh new bowling shoes. I got my oil. I got my hand towels. I got my bowling glove, my bowling wristband. So bowling still was fun nowadays. I'm actually going to text you a good picture TMZ end up got of me, Brian McKinney, and Edrin James bowling with one of the stars from the reality TV show Love and Hip Hop.
Wow.
So I'm going to text you a picture when we get off. Just just some fun stuff that we were doing. But yeah, man, I'm still bowling, man. That doesn't stop, man. I enjoy that. Now that I officially retired in June, I, just spending more time with the family, enjoying life on the beach down here in South Florida. Just doing everything I can to just take up time in the meantime.
Do you have any businesses?
Go ahead.
Did you start any businesses? Do you have any businesses going?
I actually have my own business with the company Prime America.
Okay.
I got it going on right now. They handle life insurance and investment. I'm actually going to try to do everything I can. I still keep in contact with Dave Zott. He's a player development guy in New York.
Yeah, former New York Jet.
And try to talk to some of the players out there as far as life insurance and investments, like doing things the right way. One thing I never knew, playing 7 years of professional football, that we don't have life insurance. We got a 401k, but we don't have life insurance, and I never knew that, until I stopped playing. So that's going to be a big thing I'm going to try to bring to their attention. And other than that, man, I've just been trying to get into coaching, man. I really want to get into collegiate coaching at some point. I want to stay around the game, man. I love the game of football.
That's awesome. I got a guy I want to introduce you to on the insurance side that you guys might hit it off and be able to help each other out. On the other side, on the football side, I love it. I know you're so passionate about the game and you have so much to give back to it, and that you enjoy playing so much. I loved watching you play. I loved hanging out. And I know you're going to be a great coach because of what you did with Jordan and how he's blossomed. It's been remarkable to watch him grow over the years, and I haven't seen him in years. He's now 17, but and to watch what you've done with him. And you're just such a good guy, and I hope that everyone goes to davidclowneyfoundation.com, finds out more, goes to the event if you're in Florida. I know that in the future we will definitely be there as BeTerrific. We'd love to this year. It's just not in the cards right now for BeTerrific as we're a startup and we're growing. But I thank you for your support. By the way, I don't know if you remember this, but we were together election night 2008, the night Obama got elected. We were doing a show.
I do remember. I still have the picture of me and Diggs, man. Me and James Edible, we were on the mic with you.
Yes, I remember that. I don't know why. I was thinking about that before the show today, and I thought it was pretty funny. So, Dave, it's been great to have you on. Thank you so much for your time. Please don't be a stranger. And you know what? We've got a little bit of time before June 6th, so let's get you on one more time to promote this. We'll talk a little sports and some other stuff as well. And the next time we have you on, I have to know what the difference between all these bowling balls is, why we need 5 of them. I'm just curious.
I got you next time, man.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. That's David Clowney, everybody.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. DavidClowneyFoundation.com. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show for today. I'm Michael Artsis. This is the Michael Artsis Show. Don't go anywhere. Thanks so much for watching.